Hello all, welcome back to the next one. In this one, we'll see how we can control the order of execution from the TestNG XML file. Let me just quickly bring up Eclipse. And here I have created two files. First one is TestNG underscore preserve 1 and the second one is TestNG underscore preserve 2. And we have couple of methods here. First one is test method 1, test method 2, and the method name is same in both the classes. So I changed the print statement. This one is coming from preserve1 class and right here, and this one is coming from preserve2 class, right? So we can identify from which test class these statements are coming. Then I created one XML file, named it as preserve enable test suite, and test name is test1, included both the classes here, test classes dot TestNG underscore preserve 2 and preserve 1. So let's just try to run this one from XML file and let's see how they are run, and then we will see how we can control the order. So run as TestNG suite, and it ran preserve 2 test method 1, preserve 2 test method 2, and both the methods in the same order. And the preserve 2 class was run before, and then preserve 1 class was run. And this is the order in which we named the classes. Now let's take a look at preserve order tag. So I'm just gonna hit control space, preserve order. By default it's kind of true, so I'm just gonna make it false right now. So it just goes with the test attribute, test tag you can say. And now I saved the file, and let me just right click and run it again. So as soon as I run it this time, you can see the difference that TestNG underscore preserve 1 class, this class was run before TestNG underscore preserve 2. And I think what happened is right now TestNG started to picking up the class with the name, because preserve 1 comes before preserve 2 ascending order, so it just picked it up. But that's happening because we said preserve order false. This guy, if we say it as true and then just right click, run as TestNG suite, it will preserve the order. Preserve order means in the order we specified the test classes, TestNG will honor that and it will take that into account while running the test cases. So basically, if we provide this attribute preserve order as true, our order will be preserved. Now let's take a look. So in a suite, we can actually mention multiple tests. So this is one block of code. We can actually copy this and mention it, and let's name it as test2. And let's just delete this one from here, and maybe we'll just run one of the class, or it's okay to run both of the classes also. So we obviously, there might be scenarios where you want the same classes to run in a different configuration, and this test can have completely different configurations. And you'll see these things in some other lectures where we'll talk about parameters and other stuff. But for now, let's understand that we have multiple tests under one suite, and these classes could be same or different. That it's okay, it doesn't matter. Right now we're trying to figure out how we can enable or disable one of the suite. Let's say I don't want to delete this whole block from here, and temporarily I want to disable one of the tests. That's it, because deleting is kind of destructive, and if I have to add it again, there's a lot of work, right? So sometimes there are scenarios where we just want to disable a suite or disable a test, and we don't want to delete it. So what we can do here is we can use enabled attribute here, and enable is true by default. I can just give it false, and if I okay, let me just put it true for the first time. So what's going to happen here is we will see the same output twice. We have two tests with the same classes, so we should be seeing the same output twice. I'm gonna run as TestNG suite, and that's what I see here. Preserve 2, this guy, then preserve 1, then I again see preserve 2 right here, and then I again see preserve 1, and it tells us that 8 tests were run. And in this place also we can see test class. So there are two tests now. So test 1 and test 2, we have defined them here, test 1, test 2. And then we can see test 1 has preserve 2 and preserve 1. TestNG underscore, I'm just not naming the full class name. And then this one again has preserve 2, preserve 1. This can have different classes also. That's a different thing. But what we are trying to see here is we have two different tests and both were run at this time. Now what I can do here is I can disable it by saying enable equals to false. And I'm gonna save this file. Sometimes you can see this error if you don't save the file. So just save the file. And then right click this one and run as TestNG suite. And we see the execution only once. And if we go to the results tab of TestNG, we see only test 1 was executed. There is no test 2, right? So what we did is we disabled the test 2. This block of code we disabled. And we can actually do it very easily just with the use of one attribute. So it's very helpful. Sometimes we don't want to delete the complete thing. And we are showing here simple scenario with just 2 class names. You could have like 10, 20 class names. You don't want to delete everything. You may want to temporarily disable something because of some issue or anything related to the product. So this is a very helpful tag. That's about it for this one. Please practice it, download the code files. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next lectures. Thanks for attending this one.